Hello friends, greetings for the day. This is Binod Gupta. So final takeaway and tips. Everyone desires accuracy of 100% from ML model, but that may not be achievable because there are multiple number of parameters, and then there has to be a lot of things which has to be done. And it is not a formula based. It has to be predicted. It has to be analyzed. Otherwise, there could have been a pre-written code that having this, calculate this, and then approve the loan or tag this as a fraudulent. So there could not be a such formula. There could be one number of parameters. In such case, AI/ML model is useful. Secondly, check if data is balanced or unbalanced, and then there is something called if the data are not numbered, then in label encoding has to be done. If the data is not equal weighted, let's say the price of a house, depending upon the area and the number of rooms into it, what could be the price of the flat? Now, the price of the flat would be in lakhs, while the number of rooms will be in terms of single digit, either three bedroom, two bedroom, one bedroom. So that way, we cannot allow the 1 lakh figure, which is price, that attribute to be compared with number of room size. While we know that the price of the flat is directly dependent upon the number of rooms. So there is something like normalization rule has to be applied. So there is something called PCA. So a new dimension has to be brought depending upon the correlation. So that's another aspect. Then when we have when we are trying to generate the output from the machine learning models, we tune the model with the feature engineering. Like in this case, we were treating the aspect of payments. Now, payment is whether positive or negative, that should have been a way. So the amount of a repayment is not the criteria to allow the loan approval. So uh, the important message which I need to convey is don't just blindly look at the data, feed into the machine learning model and try to digest the output which it gives. It has to be engineered. We have to analyze whether the data is quantitative data or qualitative data. If it is qualitative data, then it has to be encoded, and then it has to be on the same weightage as compared to all other features. Then there has to be a correlation. So there are a lot of activities which has to be done, which is all covered under feature engineering. Then when coming on to the confusion metrics, this is on a lighter note. When ML model is confused, you got to take help of confusion metrics. Sometimes the ML model can do a wrong prediction, as we just saw. So using confusion metrics, looking at the aspect whether you have to focus upon where you have to pay the heavy penalty, whether it has to be the penalty has to be on the false positive or the false negative, or both has to be considered, or only the accuracy has to be considered. Depending on that, you have to choose which performance criteria you have to consider. So that is one. Another criteria. Second thing is false positive, false negative cannot be okay. Yes, so this is we already spoke, and there are many more topics which are into the data science, depending upon this decision criteria and data imputation. When it comes to the voice, the most important thing which I'll talk about here is if there is a data which is being very lossy or very staggery, then in real-time data like voice or video, what we know that instead of imputing, it is better to impute, discard that voice, otherwise it will create jitter. But in some scenario where and the codec compression is already low, it is already running on the low bandwidth, and we are very, I mean, the data is very scanty. In that case, we might would like to impute the missing data. So that's how it helps in data packet loss and all. Impute might be also be helpful if there is a noise cancellation. So it identifies the pattern and it consider what is not required, consider that as a noise and filter out. So basic understanding of data visualization is very helpful if we are trying to correlate things. And if you're very much interested what's happening below the bed. Second thing about we got to understand there are a lot of machine learning algorithms which are applicable in different scenarios. Binary data, categorical data, there are many more. I'll talk about it and sometimes. Then we got to understand because now data over that the next level comes is machine learning, and when the machine learning data is enhanced and trained and a self-decision capability is made, then it reaches to the level of AI. So how AI is going to impact the UC enhancement, like what we see today is taking a routing decision. So taking a corrective action is something which is the role of AI, and there are a lot of AI actions which are being used by Amazon Connect or Genesis AI. So let's keep the momentum going. Learn this, deploy it, share your ideas, and share with me. And make sure that you're not dumping the data which you receive blindly into a ML model, because there is a rule which is very much vocal, saying garbage in, garbage out. So avoid that. So thanks for this long lesson. And this has been more than an hour. And thanks for having patience. Any feedback, anything, any inputs is welcome. I can be reached at my mobile number and my email ID, and I'm also visible on LinkedIn at this profile. Thanks and have a great day.